Welcome to our Parts of Speech lecture number 2, which will be on the pronouns. The first lecture was on the nouns, and this is going to be a continuation of that because pronouns are words basically that replace the nouns. So the pronoun, as I have already said, it can replace a noun, right? Okay, and it replaces the noun which is called the antecedent. This is very important for us to understand because on the SAT we are going to use this word many a times. So a noun is being replaced by the pronoun, and the noun that is being replaced by the pronoun is called the antecedent. Okay, for example, I love my dog because he is a good boy. I is the pronoun in this case because I replaces my name, whatever that is, and he replaces the dog out here. It is also a pronoun, right? And the pronouns functions exactly like the noun, except that they have got one additional property compared to that of the noun. So a quick tip of grammar: grammatically, pronouns functions like the noun. They can work as subjects and objects like what happens with a noun, and they can take up singular or plural beings, etc. Right? Now we go quickly to the types of pronoun. This is not something that we want to do in great lengths because this is pretty theoretical, but then practically we will use that when it comes to the SAT. The first one is the indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronouns are pronouns which refer to a very generic group of people like anyone, somebody, whichever, whoever, something, nobody, etc. Why this is important to us when it comes to the SAT, right? This sounds more like a grammar session from high school, or not even high school, middle school. But then why is this important? This is important for us to understand because when we refer to anyone, right, is that one an individual we? Do we refer to that person as a plural or a singular? These are all food for thought that we are going to take up in this section. Then there are personal pronouns. Obviously, personal pronouns are certain persons, things, or group, right? Okay, this basically refers to me, my, exactly people that I know like I, you, he, she, it, they, etc. Then there are reflexive pronouns. Reflex means to reflect back on oneself, right? Okay, so there are myself, yourself, himself, vagara, 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 right? All sorts of things, right? And then there are demonstrative pronouns which demonstrate a group of people that, okay, these are the people who did it, right? So there's like this, that, those, and things like that, right? We would not spend too much time doing this one. Then there are possessive pronouns. We have seen the possession in terms of cases when it comes to nouns, but then to replace those nouns, we require possessive pronouns like mine, its, hers, his, etc. Then there are relative pronouns, of course, right? Relative pronouns would mean that there are two individuals wherein we are expected to relate, right? Between two individuals like who, which, that, whom, whose, etc. All the W ones, right? Things like that, right? But out here we need to understand, though this is pretty much common sense and any school student would know this, that whom and who refer to people, person, right? When refers to a point in time, where refers to a place, and which refers to anything else, right? So this is very specific. Who refers to only a person, right? When refers to a point in time, and where refers to a place, right? So let's see some incorrect sentences. I found the gummy bears who I lost. This is incorrect because this is not a person. I'm quite sure that we are not referring to gummy bears as people or person, right? I finally got to the chapter where, okay, fine. Now again, this is incorrect, but because chapter is not a place. Chapter is definitely not a place, right? So which is the correct use, because definitely we would not be using it as a person, so know whom, right? Not a point of time, know when, know where, and so hence that leaves us with only the option which is which probably could be a good case for a question on the SAT. Okay. Then there are interrogative pronouns which asks once, those ask questions, right? Okay, like who, whom, who's, that, which, again questions ones that ask questions. Now, very important, this portion, which is the properties of the pronouns. Obviously, all the pronouns have got properties of nouns. Now, we know that, okay, fine, nouns have got, we have already discussed that nouns have got three basic properties. One property of the noun is the gender. So, every pronoun must possess a gender. Now, we know that the nouns have got a number. So, every pronoun must possess a number. That is for sure. We know that nouns have got something that we have discussed in nouns, which is called the case. Every pronoun must have a case, and there is an additional property of the pronoun, which is called the person, right? So in total, when we consider the nouns plus pronouns together, right? Now, what am I writing? Just a second, hold on. So when we consider the nouns and the pronouns together, we have got four properties that we have to take care of, right? There are four properties that we have to take care of. One, the gender, the number, the cases, and the person. Club that with the two properties of the verb, which is time and tense, right? These form the very basis of your agreement on the SAT, right? All these things have to agree when you write a sentence. Okay, fine. So let's come to the person. There are three persons: the first person, the second person, and the third person. The first person refers to the direct speaker. The first person refers to the direct speaker, in this case I and me, first person. The second person refers to the spoken, the person that you are speaking to, and the third person is anything else in the universe. Anything else in the universe is the third person. Direct speaker, the spoken, and anything else in the universe. That is how it functions. So obviously, when I refer to myself, I would be referring it to as I, me, myself, right? These are all pronouns of the first person, right? The pronouns of the second person are thou. Obviously, Old English, we will not use it that way. You, generally, yourself, all pronouns of the third person, and any other pronoun like he, she, it, they, all pronouns of the third person. So with this understanding, let us try to combine these four properties of nouns and pronouns and try to make a personal pronoun, table. Personal pronoun table, right? Let's see if we are able to make a personal pronoun table to give us a good understanding of how pronouns function. So we have combined all the parameters, that is, we have combined the case, the person, the number, and the gender, right? Okay, so now we are looking for the first person nominative case singular pronoun. First person, obviously I know that is the speaker, in this case I, right? Nominative case, when I would be doing something, right? Okay, and hence for the nominative case a singular would be an I, right? So it is very simple. You can understand that I did this work, right? If there are two of us who have done it, right, in the nominative case, then I would say that what? We did this work, right? Obviously, so the plural is we. I did this work, we did this work, plural. What about the accusative case? When I say that this work was done by what? By how? By whom? By whom? By me, right? Yeah. So this work was done by me. This work was done by me, right? So this is the accusative case, and obviously if there are two of us who have done it, right, this work was done by us. What about the possessive? This is my work, or this work is mine, right? My or mine, and our or ours. Similarly, if we go to the second person, right, you have done this work, and if it is plural, you have done this work. If there are two of you, still it goes as you, right? What about the accusative case? This work has been done by you, and this work has been done by you. Very funny, right? Okay, perfect. What about possessive? This is whose work? Your work. Or this work is yours, right? And you and your, sorry, your and yours, right? Same with the plurals, right? So very, very simple. For the second case, second person, more or less everything remains the same. And obviously we can see that it doesn't change with the gender. An I is a I for a male or a female, right? And a you is a you for a male or a female, right? Doesn't change with the gender. But this is where things in the third person change a bit. In the nominative case, he has done this work, right? I'm very sure about that. He has done this work. Obviously he, she, and we understand that it is going to be it, right? This work has been done by they have done this work if you are looking at the plural part, of course. What about the accusative case? Him, hers, it, and then his, her, its, and their, right? It's very important for us to understand that its is the possessive form of it, right? And it is very different from this one, right? This is not equal to this. So we will come to that once we understand what that would be, right? Okay. This is an important aspect of pronouns which we have to understand, that each, either, neither, anybody, anyone, everybody, everyone, no one, nobody, one, somebody, someone are all singular pronouns and they receive singular verbs. Each one of us is liable, not are liable, right? Everybody is liable, not are liable, though everybody you can understand is collective, right? Okay. Both few, many, and several are plural pronouns and they receive plural verbs. You can contemplate on this one, right? Okay, and leave you to contemplate on this one. This is interesting. This is the most interesting part. All, any, most, none, right? They are there are basically singular or plural pronouns depending on their use. So they can use either singular or plural verbs. We'll come to that on some SAT examples which we are going to take, right? Now we come to who versus whom. This is a very pet question for the SAT. We have taken it differently because the SAT asks this kind of questions. Who is a subject and is used in the subjective case, right? Always this would come before the verb, right? Whatever is happening, this should come before that, and whom has to be put in the objective case, right? Along with what? Me, him. We have already seen that in the personal pronouns, right? Okay. So an easy way to determine whether you should use who or whom in a sentence, right, is to answer the sentence's question by substituting another pronoun that is affected by the case. As simple as that, right? So you can use any other pronoun, right, to in place of whom, right, and understand whether it will be who or whom, right? So who did this work? Who did this work, right? And this work was done by whom? Like the examples that we have taken, right? That I did this work and this work was done by me, right? So me is again accusative case, whom is similar accusative case, who is the subjective case, and I is the subjective case, right? So stay tuned, guys, because the next section is going to be the most intriguing one, which is going to be the verbs, and we have got a lot of things that we have to do on the verb. So stay tuned to the next section for the SAT.